recording. So screen sharing. Then yesterday actually we just went through some of this. Okay. Okay. Yesterday we already went through this latency, what it means. Okay, this is very important point to remember because this is just the opposite of say availability, fault tolerance, okay, and performance. Okay, latency is always lower is the requirement. Okay, so now let me, this one we already went through yesterday. Okay, this one we already went through yesterday. Okay, let's start with the, now this one also we went through yesterday. Okay, there are three types of this. This is very important. Okay, basic, predefined, and custom IAM. So in basic is you need to know in basic it is very generic. Okay, broad, very broad. Okay, you only say owner, editor, viewer, or billing. Okay, and then predefined. Okay, this is more granular. Okay, so if you say add instance admin, okay, then you get these privileges. Okay, so for it is per service, predefined. And custom is you can add like you can create one, say a custom role called operator, and you can add so many, say, different predefined actions. Okay, so custom is more granular. Okay, this is more restrictive. Okay, you define it at a very restrictive level, and it cannot be defined on the, say, uh, user level. You define only at the project and organization level. Custom IAM, okay, you need to manage the permissions that define your custom role. Custom role can only be applied to project level or organization level. This is very important. Second option, second point. Now, virtual machine service account. Okay, we already said service account. Okay, is used to access the resources in the Google by the resources. Okay, in the Google itself, the virtual machine accessing cloud storage. At the time you use service account. Okay, because if your service account should be permanent, actually it should remain there. Okay, now this one we already saw. Okay, these are the roles. Alliance service account, okay, is given this role. Okay, to read and to edit, editor role, and Bob is given only viewer role. You can see only viewer role here. Here both. Okay, so these are service accounts. Okay, you can actually here it's given as a username. Okay, but it should be something like VM instance service account, like that. Okay, cloud identity we already said yesterday. Okay, it is a way of, say, managing your um, uh, uh, Google accounts, your Google console accounts. Okay, because I already said yesterday, if you don't have this cloud identity, wait, Siva is calling me. Yeah, Siva, are you joining? Are you joining? Okay, okay, can. Okay, Siva will join in 5 minutes, but we'll continue. So cloud identity, okay, this is like I already said yesterday. Point to remember is if you don't have cloud identity and you are providing access using the Google account directly, okay, that means if that user leaves the company, he still has access with his Google account. Okay, but with cloud identity, you create the user's cloud identity, and if the user leaves the company, you just disable or delete the account in cloud identity, and you will have no access to your Google console. Okay, but he will still have access to his Gmail account. His Gmail account will always be there for him, but he will not be able to access to the console, Google console. Okay, so the way to access the resources, we already said yesterday, Cloud Console, SDKs, and Cloud Shell, we already checked yesterday, API, and Cloud Console mobile app. Okay, in there is console provided in mobile app also. You can use it to say view resources. Okay, stop VM instance. Okay, remove like delete, stop VM, start VM instances. Okay, VM virtual machines. So SDK. Okay, what are they? Okay, we already saw this. Okay, it comes inbuilt with um, this is Cloud Shell. Okay, it comes inbuilt with G Cloud tool, GS Util tool, and BQ tool. Okay, this G Cloud tool, some of the important commands. Okay, I'll send it to you, and you need to know format the one complete format. Okay, for say different services. GS util, you need to know the command. Okay, I will send another task. In that, you'll see GS util is used. Okay, so that GS util, okay, is used for what is this used for? Cloud storage. Okay, you should know the command to change the permission of a bucket. Okay, using GS util. Okay, so that one also BQ. Okay, BQ is not that important, but BQ is also command line tool for BigQuery. Okay, this is okay. This one was SDK. This is Cloud Shell. Okay. So what you see provides command line access to cloud resources directly from browser. Cloud Shell. Okay. This is Cloud Shell. Okay. This is SDK. Now it's a Debian virtual machine. Be very careful. They will ask you this kind of question. Okay. And the Cloud SDK, G Cloud command, and other utilities are already installed in Cloud Shell. This is Cloud Shell. Virtual machine and networking. Okay, what is VPC? This is very important to remember. Okay, a secure individual private cloud computing model hosted within a public cloud. Okay, all the in it's a universal, say universal over all the three important clouds like Azure, AWS, and GCP. So what you can do uh, in the cloud VPC, okay, you can run code, store data, host websites, and anything else that can be done in an ordinary private cloud. Okay, a private cloud, a private, a virtual private cloud is hosted remotely by a public service provider. Okay, because we built it where in GCP. So GCP is what? A cloud provider. Okay, very important points to remember. VPC, what is it? Okay, what are the features of VPC? Okay, VPC connects Google Cloud resources to each other and the internet also. Okay, segmenting networks. Okay, it segments networks. Say uh, different uh, say uh, say you may have different environments. Okay, and you can give you can create VPCs for different environments. Okay, the segmenting network like test environment and development environment, staging environment, and production environment. Okay, and you can use firewall rules to restrict access to instances. Okay, using firewall rules to restrict instances, access to instances, VM instances. You can create static routes to forward traffic to specific destinations. Okay, this one we'll see. Okay, later we have already done, but I'll show it to you. And if you check in our that one of the first parts that I sent, okay, it was you will be doing your exercise on static routes. Google VPC networks are global and can have subnets in any Google Cloud region. Very important point, this one. Okay, VPC networks are what? Global. Very important point. Okay, exam, you'll get the question. Okay, and subnets in any Google Cloud region. So VPC is global, but subnets are regional. Be careful. Okay, and if you create a VPC, it will create subnets in every region in the world. Okay, so VPC is global, subnets are regional. Okay, in AWS, VPC is regional and subnets are AG, that zone. Okay, as per availability zone. Okay, but in Google, it's very important to note that VPC networks are global subnets are regional. Okay, like this. See, this is your VPC. Okay, your VPC is in what? Your VPC is global, and you have your subnet in US East 1. Okay, so subnet is in US East 1, and the subnet is 10.0.0./24. Okay, and these subnets, okay, can say have um, say your EC2 instances, VM instances, not EC2, VM in different zones. Okay, in 1B, 1C, like that. Okay, 1A, and the IP address will range in that. Okay, you can put it anywhere. Okay, so subnets are regional, and your VPC is whole, global. Compute engine. Okay, we already have done through this, but this is from exam point of view, and these are for grasping what we learned, okay, and which are important for exam. Compute engine can create and run virtual machines on Google infrastructure. Okay, compute engine used to run, create and run virtual machines on the Google infrastructure. No upfront investments. Be careful. Okay, you can have on demand. Okay, you don't have to pay upfront. Thousands of virtual CPUs can run on a system that's designed to be fast and to offer consistent performance. Okay, so you can have a virtual machine with virtual CPUs. Okay, thousands of virtual, not actually CPUs, it's virtual machines can run on a system that's designed to be fast and to offer consistent performance. Normally, your virtual machines are what? Performant. Okay, they have high performance, consistent performance. Each VM contains the power and functionality of a full-fledged operating system. We already know that, right? When we did the difference between containerization and virtual machine containers and virtual machines have full-fledged operating system. This is very important. Can be configured much like a physical server. Okay, if you have a physical server, it will have an OS. Okay, on top of that OS, you have your application. Okay, you have your database, so many things. So virtual machine is similar to a physical server, but it is compute engine virtual machine is um, it's a virtual server, virtual. The virtual machine can be created by Google Cloud Console or by G Cloud command line tool. Okay, so in exam they may ask, okay, uh, they may give a G Cloud command and say which how what like they may say which region, what say subnet, okay, which IP range it will create the say VM instance, okay, like that. So G Cloud say compute is very important for us to remember. Okay, you can use G Cloud command also. Can run Linux, Windows Server images over Google or any customized version of these images also. Okay, note customize also. You can have your own images also. Can build and run images of other operating systems and flexibly configure VMs. So here, this thing, same coming down here, can build and run images of other operating systems. Okay, not only say Linux and Windows. Most software packages are available at no additional charge beyond the normal fees. Okay, this is like when you create a virtual machine. Okay, most of the software packages are available at no additional charge beyond the normal fees. Okay, some marketplace images charge usage fees, but they also estimate of their monthly charges before they are launched. Okay, so VM instances can be launched, say which are say available publicly in GCP, and some are available in the cloud marketplace. That day we said something about cloud marketplace. So from that cloud marketplace, you can launch also your VM machines. Okay, but those VM instances, okay, they may be charged some fees in the marketplace. Be careful. Okay, but in the say publicly available, they are not charged. So this is very important to know. Uh, has he joined?
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
here.
Siva. Okay, Siva. So this is very important to know. Compute engine, they are billed by second. Okay, 1 minute is minimum. Okay, that means if you run a machine for 1.1 minute, then 1 minute 1 second, then it is billed for 2 minutes. Okay, so virtual machines are billed by second. And if you buy reserved, okay, you already you buy like already like purchase in advance, then that is already predefined. Okay, you don't have to pay whether you launch, whether you don't launch, whether you stop it, whether you run it. You have to pay that much amount, and that is very very cheap. Okay, on demand is always you are committed to usage. Okay, when you say I want to use this N2 say machine, okay, for 1 year, okay, and you pay, okay, they you give a very high discount on that. Okay, but if you do on demand, if you create and you want to remove away and you want to be charged on demand, then it is billed by second. Minimum is 1 minute. Okay, so if it goes 1 minute 1 second, it will charge for 2 minutes. And when you create the VM, you'll get the monthly charges. Okay, hourly is how much and monthly is how much. You will see on the right hand side. See, I told you sustained use. Okay, committed use discounts. Okay, you will say, okay, if you use for say 24% of the 25% for the month. Okay, suppose your month has, okay, say let's say 25% is how many days? Let's take it 8 days. Okay, 7 days. So if you use for 7 days, your virtual machine 7 days continuously, or say not 7 days continuously, hours equivalent to 7 days, you get discounts. Okay, so if you use 25% of the time, maybe you'll get around 10%, 15% discount, 13%. There are discounts. Okay, so sustained use means you use a certain amount of time, more than certain amount of time, which is defined by Google. Sustained use discounts, committed use discounts. You say I'll use it for 1 year or 3 years, 1 or 3 years. Then you get huge amount of discounts, maybe 70%. Okay. Now this is very important one: preemptible and spot VMs. Preemptible and spot VMs, I had said yesterday to Vinay, these are like used like when they are available when Google resources are available. Okay, so what you do is you say you want to buy preemptible and or spot VMs. Okay, and you want to run your application on that. Okay, but your application can, if your app, if Google resource needs the space, a resource, the CPU memory needs them, they are you cannot stop them from stopping your VMs. That those are preemptible. This you can get up to 90% discount. Okay, so preemptible and spot VMs can be stopped by Google. Okay, computing in doesn't require a particular option of machine type to get high throughput between processing and persistent disk. Okay, this is by default. Okay, they have high throughput and they are performant. Okay, you don't need to check any option. Okay, or machine type to get high throughput between processing and persistent disk. That means their processors and their disks are very highly performant. Okay, now you can create your say custom virtual machines also. That day I showed you, right? You can change, you can say how much CPU, how much memory you want. Okay, because if you take the instance family, VM family, okay, the your machine family, okay, and machine type, okay, they have the specified number of memory and CPU. Okay, but if you want to customize, there is an option to say customize. So when you customize, you can say how much memory and how much CPU you want. Okay, and you pay for what you need. Okay, so that is what I want me to say here. Okay, you custom virtual machines can have, you can define your own memory and CPU. You can choose machine properties by using a set of predefined machine types. I already said, okay, or create your own machine types. Okay, so you have predefined and custom defined machines. We already did the auto scaling. Okay, that okay. Before auto scaling, remember very importantly. Okay, what I've been telling you all is vertical scaling and horizontal scaling. Okay, so this is vertical scaling. Okay, large virtual machines. If you define, okay, large virtual machines, okay, then that is, what is it called? Vertical scaling. Suppose you have a virtual machine with 16 CPUs and 32 GB memory, okay, and you make it say 30 CPU and 30 CPU. That is vertically scaling. You are scaling, making it larger, okay. But nowadays, that companies are going for auto scaling horizontally. Horizontally means new VM instances are added. Okay, we already saw auto scaling practically, right? And when I'll send you the task, okay, that will involve auto scaling also. Okay, so what it means is companies are now moving into auto scaling, okay, instead of vertical. Okay, why? Can you tell me why?
It's
Anyone?
cheaper. It's cheaper.
You mean this is cheaper? Okay, maybe cheaper
Yes.
is one of the factor, but what is the main factor? HA, high availability. Okay, in this case,
Okay.
if this machine is gone, you are gone. Okay, but in this case, if this machine is gone, okay, you have this machine running. Okay, HA, auto scaling. Okay, you add more instances. Okay, instead of scaling your instance with more memory and more CPU. Yes or no? If this is gone, right, large machine, your whole application is gone. Okay, but if this you have horizontal scaling, if this system is gone, this is still available. Okay, so people now moving into auto scaling, and auto scaling also helps distribute the say distributing the traffic between these two. Here it will still go into one itself. Okay, so maybe your and say CPU and memory has increased, but the throughput still may be slow because it is the same network, correct? But here you have how many networks? Two networks. Okay, so this kind of say uh, uh, commonly say common differences, okay, can come in the question. Maximum number of CPUs per VM, okay, is tied to its machine family. Okay, there are machine families, and in that machine family, when you choose, you can choose the maximum number. The maximum number of CPUs are defined there. The number of CPU increases, the memory also increases automatically. Okay, constant by users quota. So how much CPU you can use is in your quota. If you need more than that many CPUs per VMer, you need to raise a say request with the Google Cloud. Okay, so be careful. CPUs per VM is tied to the machine family. The machine family you choose. Let me just show you this one. Let's see in which we are. Where did we reach? This is the problem in I don't know, like I'm having I'm creating problem myself, or is it like 42? Okay, now what was I going to show you here is I go down here. Okay, and I go to Google Engines. Please complete the task. Huh?
Yeah.
Now if I say create instance, okay, here machine family, okay, E2 series, and machine type is E2 medium. Okay, so this is the one. Okay, so your E2, okay, this family, okay, machine family, okay, is this series, this machine type is tied to one 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 to vCPUs, okay, actually two vCPUs and 4 GB memory, okay, shared shared core, okay, it is a shared core. So what I just wanted to say is your machine configuration is tied to your family, machine family. Okay. That day I had showed you here uh, customize also, right? There is a way to customize. Oh, wait, you have the option to customize here, but not all. Okay, only few selected machine types can be customized. Okay, later on I'll come to that. Sorry, that day I showed you an option to customize, right? Just somewhere here we can customize the machine types. Not machine type, the CPU and memory. Wait, okay, I'll get back to that. Okay, but we can customize from somewhere here. In this itself, I think we have some kind of here. Wait, customize. Okay, so E2 series, you can customize how much memory and CPU you want. Okay, see, memory is increasing by itself. Correct? You can see here, right? When you increase the CPU, memory increases. Okay, 16 GB. Okay, how much you want, you can reduce it. Okay, so this is this is how you can change your, you can do the customization. Message type, go to customer custom. Okay, now let me go back here. Okay, routing tables. Okay, so routing tables are inbuilt. Okay, be take very careful of this. Be very careful. There will be 4 routing tables. Okay, no router provisioning or managing the routing tables. Okay, you don't have any router to manage. Normally, in your data center, if you need to do some routing, you have a physical router. Okay, this one is inbuilt. Okay, software managed router, forward traffic from one instance to another. Okay, routing tables, we say we give a way to forward traffic from one instance to another. This is at VPC level. Okay, in the VPC, and no external IP address required. Okay, for traffic forwarding between, say, your instances, you don't need any external IP address. Okay, firewall. Okay, firewall is inbuilt. Okay, you don't need to have provisioning or router. No router provisioning or managing. You don't manage. No need to manage. Okay, you can restrict accesses to instances. Okay, by using firewall. Rules can be defined through metadata tags also. Okay, so you can write metadata tags. Okay, and based on the tags you can define the rule. Okay, allow access to only these, say, VMs, like that, but based on tags. So this is how tag is used. Suppose you have 10 web servers and they have the same tag called web, WEB. Okay, then you can define a firewall rule. Okay, traffic coming from 80 port, okay, to 443 port, okay, to these web servers with web, okay, allow them. Okay, and now if you have other VMs, okay, with this request coming, they will not be allowed. The firewall rule will not allow. Okay, so this is based upon web tag. Okay, and these are compute instances. There are many compute instances, web servers, and they have the same tag called web. Okay, so you can say in the firewall, okay, let the traffic coming from this, say, IP addresses, okay, with this to this particular tag, okay, of web servers, allow them. You can say like that. VPCs belong to Google Cloud projects. Okay, be careful. But what if your company has several Google Cloud projects and the VPCs need to talk to each other? Can you say what is that? if your project, okay, you have multiple projects, okay, and each project, okay, and need their own VPC, okay, then uh, see, VPC belongs to Google Cloud Projects. Be careful. Now, suppose you have, let's say you have two VPCs in the same project, or two VPCs in different projects. Okay, if they need to communicate with each other, what do we need? Tell me. We have already done this. What is that called? We created two VPCs, right? And we made them. We created two VMs in each of them, and we did the ping, and it was working. Okay, from one VPC to another VPC. What is that called? Okay, so what I mean to say is one VPC to actually VPC is what? It is a network, correct? So everything within your network can talk to each other. But if you have another network, means another VPC, can they talk? No, they cannot talk. So to make them talk, what do you need? You need peering. Okay, so VPC peering. That means we already did this. Yes or no? We did VPC peering, right? Practically. So VPC peering, what we do, there are many VPCs, and you do a peer between them, and you need to approve. Once you approve, then the resources in this VPC can talk with this VPC. Okay. Shared VPC, you just need to know what is it. We don't have practical on this. Okay, we didn't do practical. Shared VPC means if you need to share it between two different accounts. Okay, so at that time we create shared VPC. Okay, now see load balancer. Okay, be careful, this is also very important. Okay, you have how many instances in your load balancer here? 1, 2. Not load balancer has these instances. Load balancer is sending request to these instances. Okay, now the users are making request to this, and it is sending request to this based upon the say availability of resource availability in these two instances, or maybe in a random format, or maybe in a say this in a round robin format. Maybe first this, then another request coming sent to this, then another request back to this, like that. Okay, so this is load balancing. So with with horizontal scaling, load balancing is possible. Okay, and your traffic is distributed between the horizontally scaled instances. Okay, now different types of okay, what are the traffic kinds of traffic, okay, that can come to the load balancer? HTTP, TCP, SSL, and UDP. Okay, if I say to you, okay, my request, okay, that is coming to my load balancer, okay, is basically for movies. Okay, so which kind of load balancer will I create? Can you tell me? HTTP, HTTP, TCP, SSL, UDP. Which traffic I need to use for my say for my say load balancer that forwards the request for videos like YouTube.
TCP,
Sorry,
TCP,
TCP? No. HTTP is web, very clear. Okay, HTTP is for web. Okay, a web like your data entry forms, blah blah blah. TCP is for normal network traffic with high throughput and millions of say requests per second, millions of MIPS, millions of say instructions per second. Okay, so that kind of traffic is TCP. SSL is normal. Okay, that is like you have certificate, okay, installed on your with certificates, that is SSL. UDP is for video and media. Okay, why UDP? UDP does not ensure, okay, that the data that you are receiving is say complete. Okay, these all they need a handshake. HTTP, TCP, and SSL, they need handshake to say that yes, we have received your request and the request is being sent to you. Okay, in UDP, you send the request, okay, it may get a video for you and start playing, or it may not get, and the video may be of good quality, okay, maybe of, say, in between, maybe some part maybe cannot say play, okay, so you don't have any, say, SLA, okay, not SLA, availability, that this UDP traffic will be confirmed, that it will be available to you, okay. That means UDP is for media. If in the question comes, okay, for media, then base, okay, millions of transaction per second is TCP, okay, and normal web traffic is HTTP. SSL is when you have a certificate installed in your, say, load balancer,